This is the Red Brick Road. True Oz fans will notice the similarities. This is the story of Georgia Dale. She loves the movie The Wizard of Oz. It is perhaps her favorite movie of all time. She never thought she would ever end up in Oz. Her experience was similar to Dorothy's, but it had a bit of a twist. The little farm Georgia lived on in Arkansas was nothing out of the ordinary. In fact, if you drove past it, you would see that it looked like every other farm in the farming community. There was a red barn full of mooing cows and neighing horses. There were roosters that crowed at the crack of dawn, and chickens clucking and running beneath your feet, and sweaty, dusty farmhands who were full of hard work. Georgia grew up 90 years after the movie The Wizard of Oz was made and lives in a more modernized time. She was a beautiful young lady who had beautiful light chestnut color skin and natural hair which she wore in a bun. She was wearing what she usually wore, which was a red plaid shirt and blue jean overalls. That afternoon she came racing down the dirt road towards her house when her aunt, who was pulling weeds from the garden, saw her. "Georgia, don't track that mud into my house." "But Aunt Ellen, you should see what that woman tried to do to Otto. He's practically lost 8 lives after dealing with her." Georgia petted her orange tabby as he slept in her mini book bag. Her aunt looked in the mini book bag and folded her arms. "He looks about as scared as a pig rolling in mud. How many times do I have to tell you that cat don't need to go with you everywhere you go? But if I leave him here, she's liable to snatch him when you ain't looking and sell him." "Gloria L. Myers might be a mean woman, but she is not going to kidnap your cat." "You don't know what she'd do to Otto. And the little mud on the floor is worth protecting him." "Is it worth getting a whooping?" "Well, no," she said, taking her shoes off on the porch. "All right, then." Unlike Dorothy's Aunt Em, George's aunt was not an old lady with graying hair. Ellen was in her 50s and had black hair that was curly. She didn't take any misbehaving from Georgia, and Georgia knew better than to mess with her. For those of you wondering where her mom and dad are, well, sadly they died because of a selfish little teenager who was taking selfies and not watching the road. Georgia has often wondered what happened to Dorothy's mom and dad. Gordon, Georgia's uncle, was a hefty brown-skinned gentleman who wore overalls all the time and a black and red plaid coat in the winter. He always covered his baldness with a baseball cap. He wasn't ashamed of it, but he didn't like getting sunburned up there either. He never took over the discipline, but when she was out of line, he had a sharp word for her. That afternoon, while she was helping milk the cows, she let Otto, her orange and brown striped tabby cat, lick one of her fingers. Some milk had gotten on. He purred happily. "You just need a little courage, that's all," Al, the farmhand, had said as he grabbed the bucket she had filled. "Go up to that old witch and say, 'Leave my cat alone, you wicked old witch, or I'll bite you.'" He solidified his point by punctuating the sentence with a hard nod of his head. "That'll show her." "Well, what if she throws something at us?" "Then duck. And by the way, don't lean on the bull's gate. Its lock needs to be fixed." He set the milk pail down and took a sip from his soda can. It was almost empty and a little bit warm, but the taste was still satisfying. Al was skinny and he had a small layer of black hair on his head, which he kept neatly trimmed. He wasn't afraid of anything and was smart as a whip. He had light brown skin and loved drinking Diet Coke. He liked to wear t-shirts and jeans and was very good with tools. Then get to it and stop giving her bad advice, Leon said. That guy is full of hot air and probably has an empty can instead of brains. You need to be smart. Don't go by Gloria's house and you won't have to deal with her. That is good advice, but, it's an awful long way around the back to get home, Georgia sighed. Well, it's either that or don't take Otto with you. Forget that. I'm not leaving him here to get stolen up. Those two are going to get you in trouble. You just need a little heart, Hank said. Apologize to her for intruding on her lawn and just say you didn't mean to do it. And then find out why it bothers her for you to bring Otto around. Apologize? Hank, you must have straw for brains if you think I'm going to apologize to that woman. Hey, that's what I do. Just then, she found herself inside the gate of the bowl. Help! Get me out of here! Al ran over and got her out just in time. Why, Al, you're sweating bullets. Are you scared? Of course I was scared. That I was going to lose my job. Oh, all right, if you say so. Just then, she saw Gloria coming to the door with her black and white hat. She always wore everywhere, and her stupid red shoes she liked so much that she wore them everywhere too. Oh, I wish a house would drop on her. But that ain't gonna happen in my world. Otto, come here, boy. The cat came over, and she held it tightly. I've come to see Georgia. Why, did she scratch you? No, her cat. She scratched your cat? No. Here is the police document allowing me to take him. If you try and take my cat, I'll bite you. Georgia, hush. You're a wicked old witch. Georgia, that's enough. Just then, Georgia ran to her room and gathered up her things and put Otto in her book bag and ran out of the window. Come on, Otto, we're going to run away. They hurried off and were down the road before her aunt or uncle even noticed she was gone. Excuse me. Georgia? Her aunt opened the door to find the window open, and the cat and her niece were gone. Georgia! She's out there somewhere, Gordon. I'll find her for you, Gloria offered with a smile. And then I'll take the cat. She ran away because of you. Get out of my house and leave us alone. Her aunt tore up the paper and ran outside, calling for Georgia. Just then, Georgia saw Gloria coming on her motorized scooter. She turned her head towards her book bag. Shh! Ducking behind a bush. They watched Gloria whiz by. Just then she heard a voice. What are you doing on my land? A chubby tan-skinned man with a black beard asked. I'm sorry, we were hiding from Gloria L. Myers, Georgia said as she dusted herself off. Oh, I see. Well, I don't like her either. Would you like to see what your future holds? You can do that. Naturally. I'm a man of many visions and wonders. A magician. In my neck of the woods. Wow! Georgia stepped into his trailer. This is great! First, you must close your eyes, he said, as he took out his phone and opened the crystal ball app. Oh, and Mr. Cat, Please do not burn yourself on the hot dogs. They are fresh from the fire. Just then, Georgia heard a plate fall. You saw the future, she said excitedly. That one doesn't... Why, yes, I did. Otto, don't steal food. We aren't thieves. Otto looked at her and meowed softly, then looked up at the magician and meowed. Yes, Otto, you can have a hot dog. But watch the glass, though. Good boy, Otto, she said with her eyes still closed.